Victoria, British Columbia, is often described as calm, even gentle. Violent crime is rare enough that it feels distant, almost theoretical. In early 2008, it was the kind of place where routines were trusted and unfamiliar danger was not something people planned around. Lindsay Buziak lived comfortably inside that expectation. She was 24 years old and already unusually disciplined. She had worked since her early teens, balanced school with employment, and avoided the habits that often pulled people her age off course. Friends and colleagues described her as warm, focused, and responsible. She did not live recklessly. She did not surround herself with chaos. Real estate appealed to her for that reason. It rewarded structure, consistency, and effort. By her early 20s, she had passed her licensing exam and entered an industry dominated by people much older than her. She was not yet a top agent, but she was moving steadily upward, closing transactions and building a reputation for professionalism. At the same time, her personal life was complicated but not volatile. She was living with her boyfriend, Jason Zalo, whose family was well known in Victoria's real estate world. Outwardly, the relationship appeared stable. Privately, Lindsay had expressed doubts to people close to her. She had told her father she was unhappy. She had told friends she was unsure about the future. But nothing about the relationship suggested imminent danger. In late January 2008, Lindsay received a phone call that immediately stood out. The woman on the line spoke with a heavy accent that Lindsay later struggled to describe precisely. It sounded foreign, but also inconsistent. The woman said her husband was being transferred for work and that they needed to purchase a home in Victoria immediately. Not soon. Immediately. She described exactly what they wanted: a newly built house, vacant, modern, around $1 million, with a separate suite. The level of specificity was unusual. So was the urgency. High-value buyers typically move slowly. These clients did not. When Lindsay asked how the woman had obtained her personal cell number, the explanation did not make sense. A referral. A friend of the husband. Someone Lindsay should know. After the call ended, Lindsay checked anyway. She contacted recent clients. She asked colleagues. No one recognized the name. No one had referred these people. Lindsay mentioned the call to her father. She told her boyfriend. She told friends that something about it felt wrong. Not dangerous, exactly, just unsettling. Still, she agreed to meet them. She saved the number in her phone under a simple label. $1 million. She scheduled the showing for Saturday evening, February 2, 2008. The house selected for the showing was located on a short cul-de-sac in a newly developed neighborhood. Several of the surrounding homes were still under construction. Traffic was minimal. There were few established residents. It was quiet in a way that new places often are. The appointment was set for 5:30 p.m. Winter light would be fading. Lindsay did not plan to be alone indefinitely. Her boyfriend offered multiple times to attend the showing with her or to handle it himself. Colleagues offered to go as well. Even Jason's mother offered to step in. Lindsay declined every offer. She later told coworkers that Jason would meet her there shortly. That seemed to settle the concern. Earlier that afternoon, Lindsay went into her real estate office visibly uneasy. She asked two receptionists to search the client names and phone numbers in the database. Nothing came up. One coworker later described her as freaked out. Others offered to accompany her. Again, she declined. At 5:29 p.m., records show Lindsay accessed the lockbox at the property and retrieved the key. Neighbors later reported seeing her greet a man and a woman moments later. The couple arrived on foot, not by vehicle. The interaction appeared formal and professional. There was no indication that Lindsay knew them personally. She shook hands, led them inside, and closed the door. Inside the house, the showing would have followed a standard routine. Entryway. Main floor. Features. Upstairs. No evidence suggests anything unusual occurred at first. The attack happened quickly. Police later confirmed there were no defensive wounds, indicating Lindsay had little or no opportunity to react. The violence was intense and concentrated. During the assault, Lindsay's phone pocket dialed a contact and left a voicemail. The recording captured muffled sounds, movement, noise, something indistinct, and ended at approximately 5:41 p.m. Outside the house, Jason was driving toward the address but briefly lost due to the new development not appearing on his GPS. He called Lindsay for directions. She answered and then abruptly ended the call, saying only that the clients had arrived. Jason arrived minutes later with a friend. Through the glass of the front door, he saw movement inside and assumed the showing was still underway. He waited. He texted Lindsay. He called. There was no response. After several minutes, he approached the door. It was locked. Through the glass, he could see Lindsay's shoes inside the entryway. At the back of the house, the patio doors were open. Jason and his friend entered the home. Upstairs, Jason found Lindsay in the master bedroom. Emergency services were called immediately. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The killers were already gone. From the outset, investigators recognized the crime as targeted and premeditated. This was not a robbery. Nothing was taken. This was not random. Lindsay was specifically lured to that house at that time. The phone used to contact her was a prepaid burner. It had been purchased months earlier, activated shortly before the murder, used only to contact Lindsay, and then permanently powered off. Records showed it had pinged near the neighborhood prior to the day of the murder, suggesting surveillance. No murder weapon was recovered. No usable DNA or fingerprints belonging to the killers were found. Witnesses described the suspects as a well-dressed man and woman, but no one saw them leave. No getaway vehicle was identified. Jason Zalo was investigated extensively, as is standard. His movements were verified through surveillance footage. His phone records were examined. He cooperated fully with police and passed a polygraph examination. He was officially cleared and publicly ruled out as a suspect. Investigators examined multiple theories over the years. Personal resentment, jealousy, someone Lindsay knew indirectly, someone with access to her schedule, someone who used the real estate showing as a convenient trap rather than a motive itself. Police have consistently stated the crime appeared personal in nature, yet carefully planned. Thousands of tips were reviewed. Hundreds of interviews conducted. Dozens of warrants executed. No arrests were made. As the years passed, the case remained open. Lindsay's father organized annual walks to keep public attention on the investigation. Police maintained that they believed the answers existed within Lindsay's personal and professional circles, but that a final piece of evidence was missing. 17 years later, that piece has not surfaced publicly. The suspects have never been identified. What remains is a sequence of facts that do not soften with time. A phone call that could not be traced, a meeting that should not have happened, a house that offered privacy by design, and a crime that succeeded not because Lindsay was careless, but because she was responsible, ambitious, and trying to move forward. And that leaves a question that has never been answered, and may be the most unsettling part of the entire case. How many people knew exactly where Lindsay Buziak would be that evening, and said nothing? Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more amazing stories on our channel. See you soon.